Hey everyone. All right, welcome. So today is the first video of our Sensuality month, meaning how to have a delicious erotic life outside of sex and fun things that you can do, like fun date night ideas that'll be coming up in one of the videos. But today we're gonna dive into Yab Yum and how to best practices for getting into it, especially comfort for the man or whoever's on the bottom, and comfort for you, whoever's sitting on the lap of the other person. Um, and my partner Tevya is here with me. Say hi. So he's
Hello.
gonna demo. And before we do that, just a couple things for you to know. My couples bliss night that's coming up on April 20th is now online only. So we're gonna have like a whole video set up, and we're gonna teach we're gonna teach you in the comfort of your home. So definitely sign up for that. I had to change the time a couple times, but it is now from 6 to 8:30 p.m. Pacific time, Thursday, April 20th. And then I'm having a free event for women on sacred relationship this coming Tuesday from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. So make sure and sign up for those if you haven't already. And everyone joining live, please say hi. Let me know what questions you have and also what aha moments arise. But definitely as we go through, feel free to chime in and let me know your questions. And for everyone watching at a later date, please come say hi in the comments and also put your questions in because, hey, Scott, because I will come back and answer your questions later too if you're watching this at a later date. Okay, so let us get started. So I have this whole setup here. Hopefully you'll be able to see um, our whole bodies as we're demonstrating this sitting posture. Let's see. So let's sit back and make sure they can see your knees.
Okay.
I'm gonna move this back a little bit farther. Hi, Bob. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so happy to have you, and all my condolences to you also. So much love to you and your family. Okay, so the first thing about Yum Yum is one person is going to be sitting cross-legged on the bed or on the floor or on the couch as we are. And as you can see, usually when a lot of men sit this way, um, you can already see his lower back is kind of curved. He's a little bit hunching forward. A lot of men sit this way, their knees are up really far like this. So you can imagine if I'm going to put myself on top of his lap and we're going to do any kind of subtle energy work together, that's going to be really uncomfortable for him. So the first thing to do in Yab Yum, I mean, of course, it depends on how long you're holding this pose. If you're just like spontaneously doing it in the throes of pleasure for a little while in the middle of lovemaking, maybe you don't need to worry so much about setting up. But if you're wanting to just have this as a beautiful 5 minute drop in practice with your partner, like, before you go out to a movie or before you go to bed. Like, if having sex isn't on the table for you guys, this can be such a fun, delicious, beautiful way to co regulate, to express love, and to just do something a little bit juicier. And really, it can take from like 2 to 5 minutes. But so if you're just using it as an intentional practice, I would recommend setting it up so that you're comfortable. So the
And the
first thing,
longer the longer it goes, it gets very distracting, the discomfort, and it takes you out of the experience.
right, exactly. You don't want, like, we all want our man to be more present with us, right? And to be able to lead the experience and to be able to feel subtle energy, which can be harder for men. So you definitely want him to be comfortable. So the first thing that I recommend, let me grab the prop, um, is to make sure that he has a pillow under his butt or several pillows. I mean, it's best. Good work, babe. It's best if it's a sturdy pillow, like a meditation cushion or even a yoga block, are gonna really be best. You can see this pillow is already kind of totally smashed, and I'm not sure how much that's really gonna help him. Is that helping?
It's definitely helpful.
It's still okay,
Yeah.
right? And if you guys have done some yoga, that having the hips over like higher than the knees is really, really helpful for a sitting posture for long periods of time. So basically, all of you meditators, you have a leg up with this. Use your meditation cushions, use your bolsters, use your yoga blocks, whatever it is that
Why
you
don't you
need.
give me one more pillow?
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can also do this sitting in a chair. I haven't done it that way in a while. It would need to be a special kind of chair because I need to be able to wrap my legs around it. So it would need to not be an armchair, just sort of like a very simple chair. Because for some men, just sitting cross-legged isn't accessible at all, which is fine. You know, a lot of us were raised to only sit on chairs and never ever sit cross-legged on the floor. So make sure you switch it up so that it actually works for you. Or you can have him sit on the edge of the bed, um, and even put a pillow under his butt while he's doing that. So how's that doing, babe?
Good.
Okay. Now I'm gonna push your knees up together again. Is that all
Okay.
right? So if your man is like this still, even with pillows under his butt, I want you to stack up cushions underneath each knee so that his knees feel supported, so that they're comfortably supported, and he doesn't feel like he has to hold them up, right? So again, a yoga block works really well here, or meditation cushions, but you don't want him to feel like this isn't some weird yoga stretch where he needs to be in a perfect butterfly with his legs on the ground. That's not what Yab Yum is about, right? So I know this might seem like prop heavy, but once you just get your setup, once you know what your setup is, you can have like a pile of yoga blocks next to the bed, um, or under the bed, and you can just reach and grab them out if you're like, we're going to do some Yab Yum, I know, before or after or in the middle of sex. So you can really just have it all prepared right there. So how does it feel with these cushions under your knee?
Great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I love it.
Feels safe. It's like I know I'm not going to get into trouble.
Yeah. So I love it too. It feels really good. It's like, oh, you mean like I don't have to pretzel myself, or I don't have to be perfect, or I don't have to try so hard. Hey Steven. Oh, I know you guys. You and Bob know each other from my course a couple years ago. It's so good to see you both here. Okay, so then I'm gonna get into Yum Yum by sitting my butt on his lap and wrapping my legs around his torso. So let me move this a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, there. Now you can try it just with no props, whoever's sitting on top. And hi,
All right.
that might be perfectly fine. Um, I'm gonna try to lift this up so you all can see my head. But even for me, it's a little bit on my lower back, and sometimes it's just uncomfortable to feel my sit bones on his ankles. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's uncomfortable.
right. So to be honest, I mean, again, if you're in the throes of passion and you're just like hopping on his lap in the middle of sex, right? I'm like, now I'm sitting farther up on his thighs. And so like I pulled myself up and I'm holding with my arms, and I really feel like I'm pressed against him. And this actually feels really, really good already. So if you never do this position with your partner, um, just feeling your bodies totally pressed against each other like this without it having to lead to sex or lead anywhere, it's really, really nice and
Hmm.
just yummy. The main thing is, I always get self-conscious about my breath, but we just both drink cacao, so we're good. But, chew some gum, brush your teeth, like drink some orange juice, whatever you need to do. And I just avoid like breathing full on in my partner's face because I don't like it when people do that to me. Um, so you can like put your face that way, and I can put mine here. So we're kind of like side to side, you can see. Or you can do third eye to third eye for a little bit. It's more like my breath is angled down.
What about breathing out through your nose? Is that
Hmm.
another way?
You can also breathe out through your nose. But I will say, after a minute, like my arm is getting a little sore. and from holding myself up on the top of his thighs. So a pro move, to be honest, if you're on top, is to put a cushion and make all the weird noises you want. To put a cushion between your butt and his ankles. And oh, it feels
Feels better.
really, really good now. Yeah. So this is the position with all the props. Mm, mm. Just, the other night, one of our first date nights that we ever had, he brought me into the living room and said, sit down on the floor. And, he guided me into a breathing practice together. And we went into Yab Yum just kind of naturally and sort of started the evening with that dropping in and like harmonizing our nervous systems. And it felt like he had candles lit, the lighting was low, he had nice music playing, he served me cacao, and then we were doing some breathing practices in Yab Yum. It's just a really, really nice way to add something to your date night. Um, so now I'm going to tell you what exactly you do with your breath and your energy when you're in this position. But let's see, I think there's a question. Scott says, I have never minded my partner's breath. I wonder if that's a common concern with anyone you're in relationship with. Well, for me, I am a little bit picky about stuff. I'm very like, I need things to smell nice. I need things to, the sound to be calm and sweet and quiet. And, it just kind of depends, I think, on personal preference. But I would say I would tend to err on the side of, being aware of that as a man or as a woman and just showing that you are aware and you've thought of that and to take care of
Women are more sensitive to your breath than you are to theirs.
it.
Yeah. So, and they won't always say anything. So it's better to be proactive about it.
Right. They might not say anything, they might just not ask you for a third date or might not be available for that next date. Mm. 'Cause it's really hard. I've been in lots of circles of women where we're like, he's really cool, but his breath stinks and he doesn't seem aware of it. How do I tell him? Right? So, again, as a man, we want your presence, we want your awareness, we want you thinking about these things. Um, yeah. Okay. So, things you can do in this position. I would say, I think one of the easiest things to do is to work with the three bindus. So, the three energy centers from classical Tantra. Um, And we'll probably be doing some more of this in my couples date night, couples bliss night that's coming up. But it's the third eye, the heart, and sort of the lower belly. It's a combination of the sexual center and like the gut area. And what you can do is you can pick one or you can work with all three. But so like for example, the easiest one is to imagine you guys inhaling and exhaling heart energy back and forth between your hearts. So it's nice to synchronize your breath here, or you can alternate your breath. Like, don't get hung up on what the hell your breath is doing. But it does help if you're whoever's leading this scenario is to give the instruction. Okay, you exhale, like tell your partner what to do, and then you do either the opposite or the same thing. So let's alternate breathing. So go ahead and exhale. Okay. Mm. And so what you're doing there while we're breathing is we're visualizing. When I'm exhaling, I'm visualizing heart energy going to his heart. And when I'm inhaling, I'm receiving love or heart energy from his heart into mine. So it's just a straight back and forth, really simple. We do a more like in-depth version of this in the couples bliss night. Now, the next thing you can do, and what I love to do, is to do all three centers at once. So like insight, higher wisdom, energy back and forth, heart back and forth, and like sexual energy back and forth. So let's do all three. So inhale, exhale, Okay, good. So I would do this for like at least 2 minutes together and really doing the visualization of sending these energies. And when you're receiving it, like open, surrender, see how much you can allow yourself to receive the love and the sexual energy and the higher wisdom. It's really fun to play around with. And also, there's no need to be like, like, stiff. um, let your body move. If you feel a frisson of energy up your spine, like undulate it. Or if you want to go back and forth, if you find yourselves rocking or moving your hips, like trust the energy, trust your body, and really let yourself get into it. Of course, I think it helps a lot to have good lighting and good music.
Hmm.
But you can do this anywhere.
Good
It,
lighting meaning candles, not lots of bright light.
I hate overhead lights, fluorescent lights. Good lighting meaning low light, like lamps, something that's very thoughtfully done. The worst is just to walk into a room with like a bunch of overhead lights or a big fluorescent light glaring at you. Like, oh, terrible for energy work, in my opinion. Um, all right. So then another thing that you can do in this position, and there's really a lot. So I'm going to tell you two more things though, is you can run energy in more of a loop. And of course, you can both be doing the microcosmic orbit within yourselves, each on your own doing the microcosmic orbit within your own body, or you can do it in a loop through both of you. And that's something that I love to do. So if you're working with a man and a woman, I recommend that the man exhale down and out his cock up into me. And I'm inhaling while he's exhaling. So I inhale his energy up and then I exhale it. When I visualize it going through me, it goes up through my central channel and sort of curves around at the top and goes down into his head. So I'm inhaling it up through my central channel and then exhaling it down through his body and then inhaling up through me, exhaling down through his body. Whereas the male partner, on the other hand, is exhaling his energy up through me and then inhaling it down through his body. So you're exhaling up through me and inhaling down through his body. And so that's what I love to play with. But I am a proponent of like discovering how it works best for you and your own bodies. And of course, if you're queer or you're in some other configuration, feel free to play around with different ways of running the energy cycle. Um, Different traditions do it different ways. I just happened to start using this one and I really like it. And again, you can let yourself move and moan and play good music and really get into it. So let's do this for a minute, okay?
Okay.
So you inhale.
Now, you mentioned my
Mhm.
cock. Are you suggesting that this be done during sex or not, or both? Does that matter?
Oh, well, I mean, this is really fun and hot to do outside of sex, just as it's like an energy sex sort of thing almost, but it doesn't even have to be sexual. Again, it's sensual, right? You're feeling things in your body, you're feeling connected, you're being close to each other.
Right. So I can
Um,
exhale my energy into you even like this, fully clothed. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about doing yab yum involving penetration next, like in this call, so
Okay.
stay tuned. But for now, let's just do it this way.
Okay.
So you go inhale and then exhale into me. Okay. So I know it might not look like much while you're watching, but I'm like moving my hips and inhaling the energy up and really squeezing my pelvic floor and visualizing it come up and I'm visualizing it curving around. I love that curving around part and exhaling it down through him. So I'm really visualizing the energy moving in a loop and I'm using my body um,
And
to help it move, to help feel more, to help awaken energy and just feel more delicious.
And
Hmm.
as I'm exhaling, I'm flexing my pelvic floor as well
Mm.
to
Hmm.
enhance that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty fun. And let's see, we have another comment. Um, oh yeah. So Scott says it's really difficult for a man to feel the energy of his cock outside of sex. Definitely do have men that it's very new for them, this idea of like feeling their cock, feeling their penis, or having any sort of connection with it or relationship with it, or having an awareness or an ability to notice any sensations in it if it's not erect and if you're not having sex. That's like pretty much epidemic among men, but it's very possible to change that with just a little bit of practice in neo-tantric stuff. And this is what I help men with in my one-on-one coaching all the time. And it's revolutionary. And it's also okay if the sensations remain subtle, even after you've worked on it for a while. It's okay. The idea is simply to make a gesture in that direction of intending to be more connected with this part of your body, intending to notice what is there without needing it to be a certain way. But do you want to speak to that?
I think that covers it.
Okay, great. Okay, so the last thing I want to say today is how to use Yab Yum with sex. And so I feel like this is probably a very underutilized position. Um, yeah, I often forget, but when I do remember, it's really fun, although it is quite more athletic for me on top. But of course, so you can be naked and having sex and be sitting in this position and be in penetration. And actually, this position in penetration is part of like a very long, complicated tantric ritual that I teach in advanced practice.
I'm going to move my leg for a second
Yeah, move
because it's
your leg.
getting
Yeah, right. See, it's intense.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
So, of course, then you're just in penetration, and then you can go to town, like having whatever amount of fun you want to have. As the person on top, I have a lot more control. I can, like, press all the different parts of me against him. I can, like, feel whatever sensations I want. I could even, like, lie down and, have some fun this way. So, or you can just stay. And this is what I really recommend is to stay in this position, third eye to third eye, and just go really, really slow,
Hmm.
like ultra slow sex and penetration. And this is where you stop trying to make anything happen, stop striving toward a particular goal, and you're just relaxing and noticing what is and inviting pleasure, inviting orgasm, inviting a deeper experience of sex to arise. And if you have the energy to do this for 5 minutes, that's a long time, so congrats. And you can be going really slow and doing the loop of energy circulation while you're in penetration, and it can just be like really fun and surprisingly deep. Okay, do you want to say anything about that?
It's a way to really focus on the connection between you, as opposed to, I think a lot of sex tends to be on one or the other person's pleasure. Whereas when you slow down like this, you're just so connected in all the different centers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just really connective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I love feeling his hands on the back of my heart. It feels like I feel really held and supported. And even me holding him there, we don't do that necessarily every day. Yeah. It's hard to stop. All right, so that's what I have on Yab Yum best practices and fun things to do in Yab Yum. I'd love to hear what y'all come up with when you give it a shot. I mean, there's so much creativity to be had here. All right, well, let's see if there's any last questions or comments. Looks like we're good. So thanks y'all for watching, and I hope you have a really, really fun weekend. Remember to sign up for the Couples Bliss Night online. And by the way, I'm going to do an event for singles in May. Well, for anyone. You don't have to be a couple in May in Oakland also. and my women's free women's class on Tuesday. And don't worry, men, I have two programs coming up for you starting soon. One's going to start in June, and one should start in October, I believe. So, yeah, I have something for everyone, and thanks for joining. I'll see you next week.